Let's now learn how to solve number 22 on the 12B. Arguably could be considered one of the most tricky problems on this. It's probably the second or third hardest problem on the 12B. So we have this functional equation, f of a plus b plus f of a minus b is 2fa fb. How do we even approach something like this? Well, generally the strategy is we want to plug in values equal to 0. So let's plug in b equals 0 first. We get f of a plus f of a equals 2 fa f0. Well, now let's just factor this. We have 2fa, and then times 1 minus f of 0 is 0. So we kind of have two possibilities here. Either f of 0 is 1, or f of a is always 0, but this must be true for every real a. So that does work, actually. F of x equals 0, the function clearly works, and it works for all values. So we can eliminate that. This does work. A 0 is possible. So let's, the case where f of a equals 0 is a little bit silly. So let's look about the other case now. F of 0 equals 1. We're trying to find the value of f of 1, and we know the value of f of 0. So we want to somehow plug in some values of a and b, so we have a 1 and some 1 and 0 terms. Let's just try some stuff, right? Let's say a equals 1, b equals 0. You get f of 1 plus f of 1. Well, that doesn't help, right? A equals 1, b equals 0, because we already tried b equals 0 earlier. Maybe let's get one of these terms to be f of 1 or f of 0, right? Because we want to somehow make some terms f of 1 and f of 0 so we can relate, this value we know to a new value, f of 1, that we don't know. So f of 1, let's just see. What if we need at least in our equation, we want to have f of 0 somehow. It has to be somewhere. So where can it be? 0 can either be a plus b, a minus b, a or b, right? So why am I like, why do one of these have to be 0? Because we have this condition. Now the only way we can possibly use it is if we have an f of 0 term. So we already tried a equals 0, b equals 0, which doesn't really help much. Now what about a equals 0? We get f of b plus f of negative b equals 2f of 0 times fb, so just 2fb. That tells us that f of negative b is f of b. That's actually quite interesting, right? A equals 0. That's something cool about the function we didn't already know. But that still doesn't really help us with f of 1. I mean, it tells us it's equal to f of negative 1, but So next try, 0, it helped a little bit, but it gave us some cool information, but not enough. What if we make, what about if we make a minus b 0? So let's plug in a equals b. Now we have f of 2a plus f of 0 equals 2fa, and then f of 0 is just 1, so just 2fa. But then we have f of 2a plus 1 is 2fa. This is actually quite interesting. So now, what if we plug in a equals 1 here, right? That would give us, or sorry, this should act f of 2a equals f of 0 equals f of 2a. Yeah, that's interesting, a relationship. It gives us f of 2a in terms of f of a, but we plug in a equals 0, so we were actually missing a term here. This is squared here. So the key thing you might notice is, square. What do we know about squares? We know squares are always greater than or equal to 0, correct? So f of 2a plus 1 is greater than or equal to 0. What if we plug in a equals half? That would give us f of 1 plus 1 is greater than or equal to 0, or f of 1 is greater than negative 1. Aha! So therefore f of negative 2 doesn't work, so that's our answer. Wow, a really brilliant problem. So the main idea is just first plug in values that will make our functional equation simpler. b equals 0 is a good choice, a equals 0 is a good choice. And then we have these relationships, right? We're trying to find f of 1. So another common substitution is a equals b, which we get this thingy here. And then we're like, f of 1, if we plug it in, we get that this is greater than or equal to negative 1, which just eliminates b. So another key thing is here is because of the fact that we can't know exactly what f of 1 is. We're only looking for some possible values. And that's another motivation for bounding this somehow. Because there's no possible way we can find the exact value of f of 1. Only some kind of bound with this equation. So that's why they gave these choices here. Which one cannot be? So yeah, we want to look for a bound, and that's another reason why you see the square and you immediately think of, oh, greater than or equal to 0. And then we get this. It's a pretty neat problem. I hope you enjoyed this video.